For those of you just tuning in, behind me is my 2007 F-150 with 195,000 miles on it that I just replaced the engine on. And the question is, was all the work that I did to this truck worth it? We're about to find out. For those of you who have been watching the previous videos, you know the story about this truck, how it lost oil pressure towing a camper, and I put a new engine in it along with a whole bunch of other work. But what I'm going to do now is just go over every fine detail about this truck, every little blemish, every highlight, everything about it, so you are as familiar with the truck as you can be and you have an idea of what its value is. You don't notice it from the front, but if you look from the side, you can see that the lower part of the front bumper is bent a little bit. This is when the previous owner nicked the deer slightly. It bent that lower part of the front bumper just slightly. You don't notice it from the front, but if you get on the side, you can see the license plate is angling back. I'm not worried about it. After all, the angle of the license plate directs more airflow up to the transmission cooler, so I consider that an improvement. The driver's side headlight is starting to fade a little bit, but not to the point of requiring replacement or fixing up yet. The passenger one is a little bit brighter. There are two trim pieces missing from around the windshield and the wiper blade cover. Not worried about it because you don't notice it from a distance. That's just me. Some people may want to get that taken care of. I'm not worried about it. Looking at the bed of the truck, if you get up very, very close, you can see there is some rust starting back here. Now, I've done my best to clean it out and prevent it from spreading or getting worse, but the fact is it still exists. However, once again, step back and take a look at the vehicle and you really don't notice it. There are some dents and scratches on the tailgate, to be expected with a 200,000 mile work truck. And actually, considering that this was a work truck, it's in really good shape compared to some others I've seen. Something else you'll notice right off the bat, but to be expected with a truck that has this many miles, is a tear in the driver's seat. This one is especially large, but I'm really not too worried about it. The foam itself is still intact, and I'm just on the lookout for another seat wrap. Worst comes to worst, you can always just throw a seat cover on it and it's no big deal. Steering wheel has wear. As you can see, there's some wear, definite signs of wear on the steering wheel, but again, it has a lot of miles on it, 195,000 miles. There's a little dent in the Ford emblem there. Some people might rub them the wrong way, but for me, once again, not worried about it. Overall, the interior appears to be very clean at first glance, but when you get closer, you can see that the seats are stained, and there's definitely some signs of some usage. But again, it's a 200,000 mile work truck. It's really not that bad. So let's go look at the passenger side. Passenger side is in better shape. The seat is not torn. As you can see, some minor stains, but still, overall in good condition. Quite possibly one of the most valuable things about this truck now is its engine. Brand new with a 3-year unlimited mile warranty. And everything in this truck works. There is nothing in this truck that does not work. I went through it and fixed everything that needed to be fixed. Everything works. The heating, the air conditioning, the power windows, the power locks, power mirrors, lights, everything works, and there are no warning lights. This truck is, in a way, kind of like a new truck. So now everybody's question is, what did this cost? What did it cost to buy the truck, to get the truck to this point, and what kind of time do I have in the vehicle? So let's go take a look. All right, so what I'll be showing you here is a record of all the parts and payments, everything that I've made towards this truck. We're going to add everything up and see what the grand total is for this truck sitting the way it is. Right here is the video that I just uploaded of the startup, so hope you guys are enjoying that video. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. The truck fired up and ran beautifully. So let's start off down here. I've got some receipts Now, I've covered up my personal information for obvious reasons, but I left all the prices visible for you guys to take a look at. All right, as you can see, we have a few other things that I've added on to this vehicle. Now, there's a couple other things that I did not write down, but that is the purchase price of the truck. I bought the truck for $1,500. That's a pretty good deal, and it was even running when I got it. Had known issues, but it was running. After that, I put $863 into inspections, tax, title, license, and insurance. Now, let's go on to the big stuff here. Here's the cost for the engine, that big number at the top, $42.95. Now, there was an $800 core added to that until they refunded it to me, the $800, when I brought the core back. I also bought a transmission dipstick tube for $21.47. I did rear brakes, an alignment. I put $116 worth of fluids in there, transmission fluid, power steering fluid, brake fluid, coolant, etc. I put 2 new emblems on the truck. Those were $50. And I had a chip in the windshield repaired for $25. Now let's take a look at some of the other parts I bought. I bought some wiper blades, 2 exhaust manifolds, the studs, and ignition coils for the vehicle. All that came out to be $355.04. Here's another order. Take off the Motorcraft FL500S oil filters. That's not for this truck, that's for another one. But the 2 control arms up there brings us to about $72. Here's the big one. This is when I did the engine replacement, and as you'll be able to see, there is an incredible amount of new parts on this vehicle. Power steering pump, thermostats, both motor mounts, the AC condenser, the coolant recovery tank, the old dipstick tube and dipstick, both upper and lower radiator hoses, the power steering hoses, there's the thermostat outlet seal. I bought the drive belt kit with all the pulleys, brake pads, both front strut assemblies, complete with springs and everything. I got the coolant recovery tank hose. I bought that would be the transmission fluid filter. I bought an oil filter. I bought an air filter, 2 fuel filters, 2 ignition coils, the axle shaft seal, a radiator, exhaust manifold gaskets, intake manifold gaskets, and take off those other 2 oil filters there at the bottom. This comes out to about $870 something total. Now let's take a look at the next one. This was something I realized later on that I needed, the heater hose pipe that comes out from the water pump and goes along the valley of the engine and up around the back to the heater core, and the little O-ring, so add another $40 onto that. I replaced the horn. The horn was weak. Found one on eBay. It was a Ford part, brand new in box, for about $50. And then last but not least, I put 4 brand new tires on the truck, and that was $725.76. So what does all this come out to be? Everything, every penny that I've put into this truck so far, besides several tanks of fuel, came out to a grand total of $9,376.42. Now, one of the first places I went to look at pricing was Craigslist. And almost all of them that I'm seeing are within the $12,000 to $16,000 price range for a 2007. There's one black one here going for $8,500 that needs an engine. Here's one, $16,995, $13,000, $11,000, $12,000, $19,000. They're in the $10,000 range for the most part. So then I went and priced it on Kelley Blue Book. Now, Kelley Blue Book values this truck that I have right now at $83,441, buying from a private party. However, you know that the private party isn't going to do any of the work that I've done to it. Now let's check from buy from a dealer, and you can see that price has gone up to $92.82 through $11,247. Still, I doubt they're going to put a new engine into it. So the conclusion, was it worth it? I think it was. I really do. Now, I had weeks, and I say weeks, it wasn't really weeks, it was more like probably 3 or 4 days straight of nonstop work would have done all the work that I did on this truck. Even though it took me weeks to do certain things because I was only getting to them here and there, and the truck was down for an overall 2 months, simply because it sat for about a month before I even started doing any work on it. And then once I started doing work on it, I did bits and pieces at a time. But I want to say that I had a good 40 hours worth of work into this truck when it's all added up and said and done. But for $9,300, everything paid for, everything done, insured, brand new engine, 3-year unlimited mile warranty, I think I did a-okay. So what do you guys think? Was all this work that I did to this truck worth it? Should I have passed it on and got rid of it? Hold on. You got to remember the sentimental value I have with this truck. Okay, not everybody is going to have that, but for me, I did have some. So what do you think? Was it worth it? $9,300. Was that worth all the effort that I put into this truck? And what do you think? Is this thing going to hold up? I'm hoping I can get 400,000 miles out of it before I have to do anything major. We'll see. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe this will help you decide whether the work that you're thinking about doing on a vehicle that you're considering purchasing is going to be worth it or not. But I hope you found it interesting. And for me, I think it was worth it, and I'm looking forward to putting a lot more miles on this truck and taking good care of it. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.